I cannot see that sinister-looking spire while I'm working, but it is always there, lurking in the back of my mind. Picked an odd time to be traveling, didn't you? Well, if there's anything you need to know, ask away. Who are you? I am one of the many alchemists who live and work here. I was once a botanist, but found alchemy calling to me every time I came to deliver ingredients. Though at first I struggled with even the most basic alchemical compounds, I have somehow managed to earn my place at the great work. There is always room to improve both the science and the self, however. What is this place? This is the great work, first built by the Demir family, a line of renowned alchemists. Now people come from across the land to study and practice the science of alchemy in these halls. Each alchemical concoction has a storied history behind it, but we are not simply content to rest on the laurels of the past. We are ever improving and inventing new formulas for the benefit of all. They say that horrible fiends have been seen flying out of that tower. I am preparing antidotes for the radiant host in the event that some of them might be venomous. This is a terrifying small child. Pray pay me no mind. I am here that I may be of service. Nothing more. Yeah, sure. 'Tis said that shellfish is ideal for those who have suffered blood loss. Mayhap we should have acquired some from Matsya. Oh, for the days when I enjoyed such fervent adoration. But on this occasion I am glad to entrust the burden of popularity to Estinian. Poor Estinian. That's what the blood loss comment is about, this poor boy. Oh my gosh. Allow me to thank you for answering our call. Many towers have appeared around the world, and we are very grateful that you would assist us with ours. Though Kroil herself is tied up with another investigation, Valka is an eminently capable substitute, and we will spare no effort to aid you. So, if I understand correctly, you seek to make talismans that can nullify etheric emissions. Indeed we do. As you know, the tower emits vast concentrations of ether. One cannot go anywhere near it without being tempered. As such, we can only study the tower from afar, and are powerless to deal with it in any consequential way. In order to strike back, the Satrap bade us alchemists create enchanted talismans. Talismans that will allow our soldiers to venture into the tower, even should they lack innate protection. Could such a thing be possible? Admittedly, we are still in the midst of testing, but we are quite confident. Even prior to this, our people have long pursued countermeasures against the etheric corruption of primals. Of the methods tested to date, those utilizing dragon scales proved the most promising. Owing to their etheric density, the scales are highly resistant to disruptive forces. The mightier the dragon, the greater the resistance. We seek to amplify this protective property throughout our alchemy. Thanks to the scales provided by His Excellency, we have been able to make steady progress with the talisman. Soon we will be ready to conduct a field test, and here is where you and your blessing of light come in. Well, better than having my blood drawn, I guess. Perhaps so. And knowing my colleagues, they won't be satisfied with blood alone. But what else are they gonna do to him? Is he gonna... He just put his hair in a ponytail, but now he's gonna get a haircut because they cut it all off. But as for your task, we ask only that you serve as an escort. I will explain in greater detail later, but you will be venturing into the tower's field of influence. And so, for your own safety, I would first test how well your blessing shields you. With your permission, of course. In that case, Orion J and I will find other ways to make ourselves useful. Seeing as you all work to the point of collapse, I suspect you could do with more hands. We would be grateful for any assistance you can provide. So I think eccentric is the answer here. If you are ready, then let us put your blessing to the proof. If you exit the Great Work and turn south, there will be a hill to the right. I will meet you at the top after seeing to some preparations. Okay, then. So they've been, I mean, they're right next to the tower, so I can also imagine that that has been massively, like, a hugely important and worrying thing for them too, you know? I have to be real with everybody, though. I did not think that of all the zones in this game, Thavnair would end up being where we got more draconic lore, but here we are. And I am so excited right now, I like don't even know what to do with myself. I really hope they're not being terrible to this dragon. I really hope there is consent with the dragon and the scales. But it's always been so fascinating to me what exactly dragons are kind of like or made of, right? This is one thing that I actually would really like to do more research on for a video about dragons, dragonkind, scalekin, things like that. It's been on my like to-do list, but if we get even more information here, that's going to be such a wealth of stuff to integrate. I've always kind of theorized that maybe dragons we know have like an incredible concentration of ether in their eyes, which I assume accumulates over the course of their life and makes that kind of like the source of the power of what I would consider to be their ethereal soul, almost. This is just me, these are just my thoughts, I haven't researched anything else, right? But just from what we know. And their bodies tend to reflect, shift, or change based almost on their soul or on the ether around them, or their affinity, or their like spirit's affinity for different types of ether. We even got some more stuff with that with the Ishgardian Restoration, with L2, who's the cutest. And the fact that they can shift and adapt and change in a way that almost reflects, like their physical form, in theory, you would assume, would be more suffused with ether because of that. Because if they are able to evolve, change, or shift because of the ether within them, whether that be through their own purposeful manipulation of it, possibly like Midgardstormer with like the size stuff, and when he, you know, gets, you know, larger in that one section, or because of like a more subconscious thing that happens if they're still younger. It's been something that I am so interested in and so curious about, so if we get more information regarding that here, even just what we've gotten already, I'm genuinely excited about it. Drunken Deepa? You see a lantern designed in the local style? What? Okay. Okay. I hope you didn't have trouble finding this place. Or climbing the hill. Not all are accustomed to the physical strain. I give you the fruit of our sweat, tears, and many a sleepless night. The Drunken Deepa. A Deepa is a lantern presented to the gods as an offering. Taking inspiration from the tradition, we created this device to test the talisman's efficacy. Upon activation, it will move a certain distance before emitting a powerful blast of ether. In lieu of corruption, those lacking sufficient protection will experience severe ether sickness. We're over here like, please not again, please. For your test, we will be exposing you 4 times. That should be enough to ascertain your blessing's protective capability. Please begin when you're ready. I shall be observing from a safe distance. Commencing etheric exposure testing. Repeat. Commencing etheric exposure testing. Retreat to a safe distance if you are not the subject. Follow the Drunken Deepa's lead and try not to fall behind. Okay, well, we going. We going, he go fast. It's cute. I like the little way it bounces, that's very good. Did they adapt that from like the lantern minion? I'm not totally sure, I actually don't think I have that one. Okay, right here. Readying ether, please stand back. Oh, probably have to interact with it again. Target is preoccupied, unable. Okay, well maybe he just wants me to go further out. Ready to discharge. That's kind of fun. And it actually like moves to that location and then does it. You are struck by a powerful blast of ether but suffer no ill effects. Good! What a relief! We're gonna do it 3 times, they said. Subject has no irrepressible urge to empty their stomach. Confirmed. Resuming test. Please follow. This would have been like Valka's most miserable like day of her life if she'd had ether sickness 4 times over. 5 times over? The 3 times here, then the 1, 4. Okay, so we can stand back again so that it can create its little instance. That's fun. It's neat to see them playing with technology and doing different things here. We suffered no ill effects. I assume we probably won't suffer any ill effects the whole time. Would be my guess. Subject stomach and bowel integrity holding. Confirmed. Resuming test. I also wonder if this takes you on different routes or if it's like the same thing. Could be an interesting way to kind of disperse people. It looks like they're kind of coming up too. Okay, it looks like it goes to the same spots, but again, it kind of draws everybody out so you're not all clumped up in one area, which is really neat. It's neat! Rook approved! Oh, I gotta stand back again. I like that the effect also kind of looks like the flood of light from the first. Blessing of light appears to be keeping us safe. Subject fortitude rated. Impressive! No irregularities confirmed. Resuming test. Please follow and brace for final discharge. Oh, it will be 5. Did 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and then it's gonna take us in a little loop back to her. Okie dokie. We survived completely unscathed. Etheric exposure testing concluded. Please collect and deliver me to the supervising alchemist. Congratulations on retaining your composure and your humors. The use of humors, that's a fun little... Again, tying in more language and thoughts from various times. The idea of balancing humors, but possibly within the context of Final Fantasy XIV, balancing etheric humors. Ah, you've returned, and not on your knees. A promising sign. But come, let me take the deeper off your hands. Thank you. I shall replenish its aether for when we test the talisman. So, no dizziness or nausea or anything of the sort? You're feeling perfectly fine? Then the strength of your blessing is beyond doubt. There is no risk that the tower will corrupt your ether. With this, we can request your aid for the task ahead with easy hearts. With the Nidhana regards you with those eyes you can drown in. Final Fantasy XIV, I love you. Why are you like this? It's so good. You are a capable warrior too, are you not? Would you be amenable to assisting me with another errand? You see, our talisman requires the use of a special ink, but we have exhausted our stores of a key ingredient for it, spiritweed. The herb grows not far from here, and I would like to go and harvest some. With the recent spate of kidnappings, however, we Arkasodara travel alone at our peril. Will you not come with me as my escort? I would compensate you for your troubles, of course. I am in your debt. Without further ado, let us head to Kajaya's footsteps. It is situated on the road which runs east of the Great Work. Let's go! We cannot let her die either, because if she does, then Matsuya will be sad, and I am not alright with that. So, we gotta be careful about this. Gotta make sure everybody's safe, everybody good. I'm going to Kajaya's footsteps. Gosh, it got so quiet. All the zone music just like is gone right now. Ominous fog across the land. There it is. Ooh, okay, alrighty. Oh, some Tempered Imperial's gonna show up, it looks like. I may simply be imagining it, but I feel as though we are being followed. Look out, Valka! Would you look at that? Tempered Imperials! Who would have guessed? Oh, this friend stayed to help. Thank you, friend. That's nice of you. I give you regen. I give you some regen. And look at you putting your buff on everybody. Great job pooping. Gods, but that gave me a fright. To think that the moment I ventured outside, the safety of the work. Oh, I think the sisters, I asked you to come with me. You're all right, I hope. Good, good. Let's continue on then. It isn't far now, just through these pillars and up the rise. Also, I fully admit to everybody that my Thavnairian accent here is hanging on by a wish and a prayer, but we roll in some R's. We're trying to at least just differentiate it a little bit, but obviously not make a parody, so I apologize if anybody is like, oh my goodness. Just a little bit getting into character, if you will. I think those guys are fun. The Pisaka. I just like their design. It's kind of weird. And I think, are they unique? We probably have something that has some kind of model similar to this, but they look, to me they look new. Or I can't think of a model like off the top of my head that would be shared with them. They're not like totally reskinned. I guess it could be that they could be like the Godzilla enemy, but just shrunk down a little bit. Maybe. They look really neat though. Is it both neat and cool? Rook approves. And here we are, Kajaya's footsteps. Kajaya was a great dancer, and those who follow in her, oh, well, you know, they come to this place to train and dedicate their dance to their ancestors. A happy benefit of this is that spirit weed grows here in abundance. I will set about harvesting it at once, if you would be so good as to stand guard. The kidnappers aren't likely to return soon, but better safe than sorry. A little bit of lore over here. So maybe like when you're about to, I guess you could say graduate as a dancer, one of the big things is that you come here to dedicate your dance. Lots of people are going to be adding that into RPs, I tell you what. I'll gather the herb as quickly as I can. Please stand guard for me. So pretty. A shot of the city beyond. Oh, it's so good. You can see the Ahriman eye.
Radz-at-Han. Hardly anyone has been allowed in or out since our troubles with the tower began. The faithful citizens huddle inside the city walls, and commerce has all but ground to a standstill. I pity the Satrap, the trials he must be facing.
I'm curious about who this Satrap is. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Do you trust the Satrap?
Completely. Without the Satrap and his line, Radz-at-Han would not exist. Long ago, this island was home to two tribes of Matanga, the Gajasura and the Arkasodra.
Oh. It sounds like they actually say Arkasodra. Arkasodra, as opposed to like Arkasodara. Arkasodra.
When the Aura came to these shores, it was the Arkasodra with whom they joined forces. Together they defeated the war like Gajasura, forcing them to flee Thavnair altogether.
But did they then end up going to the steppe? Because we do see there another group. There's that whole fate chain with the Tataki Chronicles that culminates in a fight against them.
Peace and prosperity reigned for a time, until a clan of Hjor from the mainland decided they wanted the island for themselves. It was a direct ancestor of the present Satrap who arbitrated that conflict and welded the warring factions into the nation we know today. And ever since, a member of that esteemed lineage has inherited this somewhat unique position. You see, by and large, the state is run by the people. But when problems arise, it is the Satrap who mediates a solution.
Oh, so not like an all-powerful ruler, but somebody who almost is more of a mediator?
The stability provided by the Satrap is what has allowed Radz-at-Han to thrive all these years. And it was the Satrap himself who entrusted us with this duty. We will not fail him, nor our countrymen.
That's why they're working so hard. Again, just so beautiful. Every single time I look at it, I just can't believe.
What is the delay with the vessel? I told you I need to adjust those ratios.
They're trying their best to save everybody. Oh, get out, Fannypack!
I come all this way to admire one of my splendid towers. What do I find? Fools attempting to ward off its tempering influence with magic trinkets.
Fannypack!
I seem to recall a similar experiment in ages past. What was that man's name? Oh, something? Owe?
I think who he's referencing.
Another body, another time. Who could be expected to remember every trivial detail?
Allowing them to construct such handy talismans would be counterproductive to my plans.
Oh, is he gonna destroy this place? Oh, no, don't do it, Fannypack. Oh, jeez. I am really hoping that we get a little bit more something with him. I've been saying it since, you know, the 5.x series. I'm already a little more intrigued with the voice overlay and stuff. He just has felt, he and Xenos, right? We just don't really know what their true depths are, what they're really doing, what their true motivations are. They've been so obscured and kind of distanced from us in that sense, where we've seen what they're doing, but we don't really know why or a lot of the details. So I'm curious if we're gonna just get more with Fandaniel, if there is something deeper with him, or if he's just really all about this chaos, let's just absolutely nihilist to destroy everything, you know? Because I feel like he's gonna destroy everything here.
I find myself deathly curious. How will they manage this feat with the limited knowledge and resources at their disposal? Complications be damned, for we cannot escape the nature of our souls. And I, as ever, am my own worst enemy.
Okay, he's not gonna kill them all. He's gonna watch them, and then kill them when he feels like it, maybe. But I have to say, his dialogue there was the most interesting dialogue I think I've ever heard from Fannypack. So good job. You put some substance in your pack, Fannypack. You did it. I have enough spirit weed to last us a good while. Thank you for keeping watch. Let us head back to the great work, shall we? Okay, back we go. I'm surprised there's nobody up there G-posing. I figured for sure there would be a queue of dancers a mile long, all trying to take screenshots and do like footage of themselves up there in that little pavilion, because it is so beautiful, especially when the sun is right or the sun is like rising or setting. It's just gorgeous. Speaking of which, this pink sky. The pink sky, the teal waves. it just... You ever see something that feels as though it's so vibrant it kind of sinks into your soul? Like everything while you're looking at it feels brighter while you look at it. That's how I feel with this zone. I felt that way a few times in real life too when I've been in places that are really lush or really verdant, but it feels like there's something that just makes the world more colorful, richer, brighter. And then when you go back to just like anything else, it almost feels as though, I don't know, that richness has kind of been drained out of it. Like all of life should be so colorful and vibrant. In we go. Valka, my thanks again for your assistance. With your help, we're that little bit closer to completing our talisman. This isn't much, but please accept it as a token of my gratitude. Little does Nidhana know she's about to send you on another errand. Well, at least they're just upfront about it. At least we know what to expect from this. If you will excuse me, I shall return to my work on the talisman. Varshan, did I give him a voice? I don't remember. You are both back. Oh, that's the child. Oh, dang! It's not deep, not deep! Not a deep Arcasodra voice. I have a message for you, Mistress Nidhana. It would seem the stores of Giantsgall are running low. What? But when last I looked, there was still plenty. I suspect that was before Urianger told everyone about their tempering cure, and Estinian shared his knowledge of dragons. Your peers have since been inspired to fashion a number of new talisman prototypes. I see. Well, if it leads to new possibilities, then far be it from me to complain, but we will need to replenish our stores. I should be happy to tend to this if you like. As much as I appreciate the offer, my dear boy, I can't in good conscience send you out there alone while kidnappers are at large. So I'll make Valka do it. Valka, loath though I am to press another task on you so soon, might I ask you to fetch the Giantsgall? In case you're not familiar, Giantsgall is a type of ore found on the island. Owing to its hardiness and ethereal conductivity, it has applications in many disciplines, alchemy not least of all. The quarry where it is found, aptly named Giantsgall Grounds, isn't far away, so it shouldn't take much of your time. Might we impose on you once more? Thank you. Upon arriving at the grounds, please seek out a man named Zenua. He will furnish you with ore. At the very least, permit me to accompany you. It so happens I have an errand of my own that will take me to the outpost nearby. May we borrow a pair of Hamsa, Mistress Nidhana? By all means, do try to be patient with them. Those that survived are still in training. I will bring the Hamsa to the entrance. Meet me there when you are ready. We get to ride then! They must be the equivalent of, kind of like the Falcons or Black Chocos. There's gotta be a place you can actually get them as a mount. Maybe if there's an Arcasodra quest or something? Oh, this little friend has a quest. Like, a tribe quest chains. I figured the entrance is over here. Can I talk? Give my regards to everyone there, won't you? Oh my gosh. That's excellent! Was this just because we were on our way out to do this now that it's kind of an event? Or are there little different NPC events that happen in different areas? Aren't Hamsa the fluffiest, sweetest, most accommodating creatures you've ever seen? You can pet them, you can eat them, you can even use their glands for alchemical processes. Just superlative animals all around. That would be a fun way, a neat way, a fun way. That'd be an excellent way to add a slightly more dynamic feel to what's happening with NPCs around the world. Here are our Hamsa, Valka. If the creatures look familiar, it is because they are close kin to your Eorzean dodos. Hamsa have long been kept as livestock in Devnair, and many a hatchery may be found here. Alas, the largest of these was recently raised by monsters from the tower. On account of said hatchery being situated near the tower, the Radiant Host repurposed its remnants as an outpost. That is where my errand takes me, and your own destination is but a stone's throw away. If you have no objections, let us first make for the outpost. We set forth at your word. Put me on the dodo. You are ready? Then let us depart. You need only ride and relax. My bird and I will take the lead. Or follow yours, is that what he said? Mount the Hamsa. Let us be off. If you haven't ridden dodos before, be warned that they have a wobbling gait. This is the best. Valka looks like she's just like, why am I doing this? I have been here. I came here, and from the beginning, I was sick. I was. That spectacular formation. Oh God, he goes so fast. That spectacular formation stretching out over the water is called Khadga, a word which means sword. This sword, legends hold, was wielded by the Manusha against the Mirga before it was cast down at conflict's end. To the left and requiring no introduction is the tower. As you can see, it straddled a small rise. Oh, a small isle. I'm too delighted by everything that's had their dumb little wings, how they flap behind you. Oh my gosh. Oh, they're so good. Almost there. Though the main part of the hatchery is atop the cliff, the outpost itself is on the beach. I adore that they worked in so many different ways to give you more of a sense of the story having a continuous living thing going on, as opposed to go to this place, stop, talk to this person, cutscenes, go to this other place. Being able to travel around with NPCs, to have little wandering tours like this, it really makes it feel more like everything is connected and the map is a living part of that, and I think it's just so effective. I hope they keep doing stuff like this in the future. I'm sure they will, now that the technology is here. And here we are. Manned by the Radiant Host, this outpost is our first line of defense against the tower. Now here's a question for everybody. Here's my thought. Is the child the dragon? Maybe this is a wild assumption. Maybe this is a wild assumption here. But the red eyes, the uniquely colored horns, is it possible that this dragon has shapeshifted into a child, and we will learn more about the nature? But we've been this child just has funky, weird energy. Mysterious, plot, question mark energy. And I just can't help but wonder. Maybe. But you all know how I love my wild tinfoil hat theory, so. Well, who should it be but the young Varshan? You want an errand for the Satrap? I am. His Excellency bade me to come collect your report. He also wished to express his heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women of the Radiant Host for their unflagging dedication. We simply do our duty, but we are honored to receive His Excellency's regard. And yet, for his boundless benevolence, his treatment of one so young could be regarded as callous. Though we have enjoyed relative peace and calm these past few days, this remains the front line of battle. It's no place for children. Your predecessor too often traveled alone. It's been, what, 2 years since you took over? I wonder how the fellow is faring. Like those before him, he went on to represent the Satrap in foreign lands. Wherever he may now be, I am certain he is well. As for myself, I assure you that all I do of my own volition, and gladly. I pray you do not think ill of His Excellency. Certainly not, lad. Whatever happens, my faith in the Satrap is unwavering. But still, I worry for you. We would be overcome with sadness if something were to befall you, for you are as a little brother to us all. Oh, take care, do you hear? I will, Nabdin. Thank you. Now I've got like 50 tinfoil hat theories flying through my head. The fact that not a single person here seems to doubt the Satrap. Are they just a primal made of... I don't know. It's probably all hot nonsense, but still, there's something happening here with these two. The predecessor taking different forms or like making different pacts with some kind of entity. I don't know. There's something going on. And who might this be? Not Hanish by the look of her. Permit me to introduce Valka Dobini of the Eorzean contingent, come to assist in the making of the talisman. From Eorzea, you say? Oh, towers have appeared over there too, yes? Tell me, what is the situation like? May I suggest that you exchange information with our soldiers? Both parties would stand to learn something of value, I believe. An excellent idea. Given the unprecedented nature of the threat, some of ours are understandably anxious. We would be glad for any tidings you can share. You two, bring Varshan the latest report and answer any questions he may have. I get it. The gear of the Radiant Host, it's meant to look vaguely draconic. Like how the Dragoon gear is meant to look vaguely draconic. Just for different purposes. I think that's why they've used them, right? In a similar way. The last monster that came out of the tower laid waste to the hatchery, slaughtering many good Hamsa. Ah, the poor creatures didn't deserve it. They're so dumb and puffy and cute. They didn't know what happened. This is the fellow that carried you hither. Its breathing is somewhat ragged, perhaps due to its inexperience as a mount. Oh, little buddy, it'll be okay. You'll build more stamina. All appears quiet with the tower at the moment. I dare say the soldiers won't mind if you approach them. Well, I'm just looking. I just want to take everything in. Should you need anything at all, say the word. Any other rando NPCs that we can talk to? I will hone both my mind and my body into the Satrap's sharpest blade. Okay, buddy, best of luck with you. I believe in you. Live your dreams. Looks like there's something that we're going to do out there at some point, so we'll talk to everybody here first, and then we'll probably have to run out there. Do you wish to know about the tower? To be honest, we know little and less about it ourselves. This Tower of Zot, as folk have taken to calling it, it suddenly appeared where it did on the Isle of Narunair. We're safe from its influence at this distance, but go too far into the water and you'll expose yourself to its corrupting aether. You're a foreigner, aren't you? How are they dealing with the tower in your homeland? Our struggles are not unique. Then our hopes still lie with the talismans. We must keep the monsters contained until they're ready. Ah, I've heard about you, the visitor from Eorzea. Is there anything you can tell us about the Tulafaroi? We know that they're the ones behind this tower, and that they've declared war on the whole world. But why are they doing this? What is it they want? This we don't understand. What? They want to die and just take everyone with them? What madness is this? Oh, well, you can bet that we won't let those bastards have their way. We'll fight them with everything we have, like our Eorzean and Far Eastern brothers. It occurs to me I have yet to properly introduce our company. We are the Radiant Host, a military order under the Satrap's command. Our duty is to preserve peace in the land, be it patrolling the streets or dealing with heretofore unknown threats, such as now. We train hard, and admit only capable warriors to our ranks. Even so, we've struggled to contend with the fiends from the tower. Though we succeeded in striking them down on the 2 occasions they came in force, we have had to pay a heavy price. What of the towers in Eorzea? Do they likewise spawn monsters? So, it's much the same everywhere. With every nation struggling, we cannot expect calls for outside aid to be answered. And back to Varshan. Finished speaking with the soldiers, have you? I hope it was as enlightening for you as it was for them. As a neutral nation and trading hub both, Radz-at-Han ordinarily receives a steady stream of news from abroad. Alas, this stream dried up when trading vessels stopped coming. Amidst the dearth of information, everyone will have been grateful for your account. But come, you had best see to your original errand. As mine will keep me here a while longer, however, I'm afraid I cannot guide you the rest of the way. Worry not, the path is straightforward. You need but follow the road east. Upon the Hamsa, you will arrive before you know it. Brief though it was, I enjoyed our time together. Till we meet again. Okay, Varshan, keep your secrets then. I see you next time. Oh, I'm sorry, little puffy buddy. Should be separate from the seeds, but ready to beat them out. Can I just ride him around? Yes, 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 yes. Sorry. I might be a little bit excited about this. I feel bad though. This poor buddy, he needs a little rest. He needs some rest and recoup. But also his little butt is so dumb and I love it. I just love it. Oh, this is how you know when I'm really fond of something or someone. I either refer to them as a stinky boy or I'm like, that's so dumb. Look at that dumb little thing. I love it. I love this dumb little thing. I love this cute boy. Okay, I'm going like the wrong way. Or I actually need to go. I have to go to the Giantsgall grounds, right? That's my guess. Yeah, over here. Ah, yes, there's my orange carrot up in the corner of my mini-map. Come on, little buddy. This is so dangerous for him. He's basically a meal. He's a meal on 2 legs. Everybody want to eat him, and he's not going that fast. We're getting there. Check our audio and stuff, alright. Oh my gosh. No sooner do you arrive at your destination than the Hamsa dashes off. Come back! We have to get to work nice and early here. After all, the sun's rays are far too strong at midday to get anything done. Although, that doesn't stop us being made to work till dusk anyway. Of course, once we've dug deep enough, I bet it'll be all lovely and cold down there. Wonder if there isn't something we could do to speed things up. Something tells me you're not here to buy a Giantsgall. Yeah, pity. What is it then? Who are you? I'm a stonemason here at the quarry, just like my father before me. It's dangerous work, but I take pride in providing Thafnai here with the quality Giantsgall we're famed for. What is this place? As you've like as not gathered, this is where we quarry Giantsgall. It's sturdy and conducts ether like no other stone, so it makes for fine armor and weapons. I'll direct it to the Hamsa Hatchery for a livelier sightseeing fair, but those nightmares from the tower destroyed it. It's only a matter of time before the same happens here, like as not. I see you, Aethercurrent. I'm coming. I'm on my way. We'll get some more NPC dialogue while we go. If we excavate exclusively from the bottom, the whole quarry's like to collapse, see? That's why I'm planning to make it, to mine what I can from the top, but I need to build up the courage to climb this ladder first. Wouldn't it be revolutionary if we could climb ladders? Okay. Down we go. Can you dive in this? I always forget. I'm like, what's my dive? I think that's it. I don't think we can. It's not that deep. I mean, it's deep enough we probably could, but it's also very rainy and sad right now. This is indeed Giantsgall grounds. Dom Zenua. Is there something you require? Giantsgall for the alchemists, you say? Oh, but of course they shall have it. They labored tirelessly to deal with the tower, and 'tis the least we can do to provide them with the materials they need. Here you are, a sack of the purest Giantsgall. We always set some aside for our alchemist friends. When you deliver it, let the good folk of the Great Work know that we're grateful for their efforts. If they need more, they need but ask. Okay, we did it! Oh, I guess we can just teleport back, right? 60 whole gil! They did rebalance all the gil stuff, and it does. I haven't actually noticed it too much, but I need to actually go through and like look at the list, because it is supposed to be a little bit more proportionally cheaper if you're like within a zone or you're doing other stuff, and then the longer distances, like going from the source to the first, are supposed to be more expensive. I don't know if anybody else has really noticed that or felt like it's been a big burden on your gil, but so far it hasn't felt like I'm being ridiculously overcharged. There it is. Oh, this is not actually our main quest, but it is an Aethercurrent Quest, so we'll go for it. Do you have a moment, adventurer? One of my colleagues has gone missing. She said she was going to Kajaya's footsteps to get a bit of exercise, but she hasn't come back. I'd go search for her, but it's almost time for a shift change, and I can't very well leave the kiln to operate itself. Could you find her and fetch her for me? You're too kind. She should be in Kajaya's footsteps. Keep an eye out for a Hure with black hair. I'm sure she'll be happy to see you. She was out the last time you were by, and she was devastated that she missed out on the chance to meet one of the students of Baldesion. Yeah, that's us. Student of Baldesion right here for sure. What do you mean I need to get back to work? Oh, have I really been out that long? I should go. But I was hoping to get a better look at the stage before I left. I'm sure you're busy, but could you assist me for a moment? Thank you. I'll inspect the walls, so could you make sure that the stage is in order? Yes. Salalafel inspecting it right now. Just trying to make sure that some of the paint is worn off. I could use a fresh coat. Maybe keeping an eye on just the area. Maybe they help make sure that if anything needs to be done, they can tell whoever needs to do it. The cloth wavers exquisitely in the wind. No problems here. This whole zone, you can't really see much in the rain right now, but the different layers, the distance and perspective stuff. There's a small hole in the floor. That can't be good. So it needs a little maintenance, a little upkeep, is what I'm hearing. Any problems? Oh, the floor and the paint? I'll have to fix them the next time I come by. Thank you for checking. You know, it seems odd that I've never met you until now. You wouldn't happen to be the adventurer sent by the students of Baldesion, would you? That's me. You are! And here I was delegating you menial tasks. If I had known, I've always admired travelers like you. You see, I was studying to be a dancer under Mistress Nashmira at one time. That's the trainer for the quests. I wanted to see the realm as I traveled for performances. And maybe I still can. Oh, not as a dancer, of course, but as an alchemist. Oh, but we should hurry back to the Great Work. I don't want to cause any more trouble than I already have. Okay, back we go. Because I'm lazy, we teleport. Because I'm lazy, we're doing Aetherite travel. I done saved up for it, so, you know, we're good. We should have enough, theoretically. Hopefully 4 million gil will be fine. Load screens definitely have felt like they've been longer, but I've been so lucky. I haven't had any queue issues. I haven't had any really extended, you know, problems with anything like that, which is really nice. I know not everybody has been able to say that. A lot of people, especially EU Primal, it sounds like it's just been really hard to get in. Okay. Oh, you know what? We need to turn this back into him. I think he's over here. Then we'll get our Aethercurrent. Also, is that Palace of the Dead? It must be, right? Pajali War Scythe. Ah, there you are. I heard you helped my colleague with her stage inspection while you were out. It's greatly appreciated. She really looks up to your kind, you know. She lost her chance to become a dancer due to an unfortunate injury, and now she's working to heal the sick and injured as an alchemist. She was so happy to meet you, as am I. Here, a token of our thanks. Have some Aethercurrent in a jar. Like a fart I put in a jar. But Aether! Thanks so much for going to meet her. You're welcome, buddy. Anytime. I'll take your fart in a jar. Ah, welcome back, Valka. Dare I hope you have the Giantsgall? I've got one big sack of Giantsgall. Oh my, such fine specimens. Thank you so much for bringing these. We now have everything we need to make our next prototype, one that should be capable of passing our most rigorous tests. When it is ready, it will be time for the true test, so please take your ease while you can. Is the Stydian gonna stumble out, just like... Never again. We will never come here. Again, ever. Then a moment of reflection. It's raining so hard, why is everybody outside? And then the rain's gone! Magic! Oh, I think it's because we were walking underneath the ledge where the rain gets intercepted. This little cove, this little area, it's just so beautifully crafted. Those sandals in the sand, though, cannot be a good time. Or those high-heeled shoes.
I see our taskmasters have allowed you a moment's respite as well.
Friendship time! Stydian, are you okay?
You have to hand it to these alchemists. They are determined to see this endeavor of theirs succeed. I've never been one for blind optimism, but I sincerely get the sense they're close to a breakthrough.
They're working very hard, these good friends.
They had better be. All this effort was for naught.
Stydian's like, so many things have been done to me.
The peoples of Eorzea, of the Far East, of Thavner, children of this star united in common cause against a dire threat. Yet ere they succumbed to suicidal madness, were not the Telophoroi born of her body as were we? They who cling to life and the promise of the morrow's dawn, against they who desire death and an ending of their own orchestration.
I mean, I can see how an eternity, like an endless life, right, could lead to this kind of conclusion. Like, we will just finally end it, you know? I can see that from like a character standpoint.
The victors of this war alone will hold the right to answer the question of existence, of its meaning, and its worth.
That's what the whole song Answers is about.
Poetic and ominous to a fault. That said, if it's an existential debate in nature, then our arguments might not be as persuasive as you'd think.
Maybe the real ending is that we just throw down in like the forum.
Daniel wants to die and take everyone with him in an orgy of pain and suffering. An utterly vile and unforgivable idea.
Thancred bring in the spicy language. Maybe the real thing is that we just end up in like a massive debate and you have special actions in the end in the forum where you're just debating about the like existential philosophies of life and you have to know all of them or you're gonna fail Final Fantasy XIV That would be an unforgettable final trial, I will not lie.
And yet, when spat upon by fate and wailing in the deepest pit of despair, who among us can say they have not entertained similar thoughts? There are nights black as pitch, bereft of hope, and no words of comfort can reach you. And it's all you can do to grit your teeth and choke back the bile.
No.
The more you see and suffer life's injustices, the more difficult they become to bear. Vengeance is nurtured in similar soil. Though your anger has a broader focus, the sentiment is much the same. A fervent desire to destroy others, to see them drown in torment, as you have.
Listening to everybody talk about this and share their perspectives, their different little personality traits, the things they've been through as people, but also speaking to these bigger universal ideas and themes. And I mean, I think we can all relate to those dark nights or those rough times.
That about sums it up. The will to endure is not always as strong as the urge to burn it all down and salt the earth. Survival be damned. It's a struggle, often close and brutal.
Everybody hold on to the will to endure.
Indeed. Well, I, for one, shall pray survival proveth more appealing in the end.
Seems like he's proud of them. He's like proud of how far everybody's come. He doesn't have to just be the one mysterious one spouting philosophy and Shakespeare-style speech.
As will I. Besides, our chances are much improved when we've the company of others committed to the cause of life. Our vengeful dragoon here is proof of that.
Yes, you Estonian. I'm so glad they added him into the mix for this. Fannypack! I sense a Fannypack on the wind.
What is it? What did you see? Van Daniel, are you sure? If he knows we've been working on a countermeasure.
I would know that Fannypack anywhere.
It holds. The vessel holds! This is the one!
At long last!
Is he gonna super squish everybody now? Is he just looking for a reason to hope? Did that little talk help?
Look! We have finally created a talisman strong enough to withstand our experiments. We've named it a warding scale for the time being. With this in your possession, your soul
I'm
should
like
be completely
trying to
shielded from
read
corruption.
into everything on it right now.
Afforded such protection, any one of us may approach the towers without fear. Thou hast mine admiration. 'Tis an invention of historical significance.
We've had inventions on, you know, aetherology, field progressive stuff, where we've been figuring out how to reverse tempering, all
Thank
kinds
you
of
for your
things.
kind words. But I would prefer you keep them unsaid until we test the talisman's efficacy in the field. It is for the next stage of our plan that we summoned you in the first place, to accompany me to the Tower of Zot. Should the scale prove effective, as I very much hope it will, then you'll have little to do. But should the effect be weaker than anticipated, I must ask that you restrain me, or knock me senseless.
Nidhana, no. You are literally, they are filling the tower with your people. Why would you go there? We'll have one of these dinkles go. These are my friends. I don't want them to die, but like, they have plot armor. They'll be safe. You needn't ask. Oh, that's brutal. Look, maybe Valka at the start of everything would have been a bit brutal like that, but I think she's learned a lot about friendship from these beautiful stinky boys, especially this one stinky boy. But many, I mean, all the cast. Grahati is not even here. He's not stinky though. He smells like roses and sandwiches and warm cups of coffee and morning sunlight. I'm pretty sure. Rock candy. Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Either way, we are fortunate to have you with us.
Oh, hamster eyes.
Nidhana, are you certain you wish to do this?
There is one thing I'll say.
If others are to trust our creations,
Later,
then we
later.
must have faith in them first. And as the senior researcher, it falls to me to lead by example. But should I fail to return, then learn what you can from this attempt and apply it to the next. Our work must continue. Is that clear?
She's so self-sacrificing and wonderful.
We'll keep an eye on the place while you're away. Assuming Fandaniel is lurking about, there's no telling what mischief he has in mind for us, or you. Be on your guard.
He has a fanny pack full of nonsense and he will use it.
Shall we be
So
on our
we
way?
gotta be ready.
I'll have one of the soldiers at the hatchery prepare us a boat, and we can set out from the northern shore. I'll see you there.
Maybe a duty instance? This feels like a duty instance. Not like a dungeon, but story duty. Okay, what I was gonna say is the one thing I'm a little disappointed with in this zone. The one thing. And we haven't been in Radz-at-Han yet, right? This is just a small slice, so I don't really know. But I was really hoping that we would actually see some people of color. And like, there's a wide range of skin tones. There are people with lighter skin, darker skin, all kinds of stuff, right? But from having talked with a lot of people and, you know, a lot of players of color as well, it was a little strange that even in like Alamigo, for example, where Raoban clearly is like a character of color and is such a fantastic character, to like go to the city and then just have so many, not all again, but a lot of characters and Lys and pivotal characters be kind of very pale of skin tone. Same with like the Vieira village. Like I was just sitting there like, but what? Hold on, wait, what? All the what? Like the forest Vieira are supposed to be dark skinned, so I'm a little disappointed that we haven't seen maybe as much of a range of, you know, characters of color in Thavnair, where like they've done so many other things so incredibly well, and we have, you know, fantastic dialects and other things they're trying to expand in the game, and the color palette and the architectural details and all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, we don't know. I don't know yet. We'll see when we get into Radz-at-Han and stuff, but it is kind of a recurring thing in a lot of, especially Japanese media, which is a little bit unfortunate, especially when we have such a wonderful, diverse player base. The tower does look pretty imposing in the foggy rain. Visually, it's also very striking that they mentioned this being the sword, right, and the idea of it being a protective sword. And you can see it pointed right at the tower. The Satrap has granted you use of this boat. May it serve you well. This is a rather finer boat than I'd expected, but I won't complain. All that remains is to board and be on our way. Oh, and if I should become corrupted, do not stay your hand. Of course, I pray it does not come to that, but you must protect yourself. Other alchemists can fulfill my role, but you and your blessing are one of a kind, and perhaps our only hope for toppling this tower. For all our sakes, do not hesitate to do what must be done, whatever that may be. Well, the longer I draw this out, the more nervous I become. Let's be off. Okay, let's go. Come on, Nidhana. We're not gonna have to kill you. We're not gonna. No. Again, it'll make my boy sad. Make Mattia sad. I'm not gonna have that. So. Just
We should
holds
soon
it.
cross the threshold of the tower's influence.
She could put it on a chain or something at least. What happens if somebody knocks that out of her hand? What if it gets removed from her body?
Any moment now.
It's kind of like when we shield our allies
It's working!
using the power of the echo.
And you are still yourself? Then I'd like to see how it fares closer to the tower if we could.
Nidhana, let's go back. We saw Fannypack. It's not looking good for what's going to be happening over here.
Although I am kind of excited to actually get a closer up look of the towers, because we've seen them, you know, in pieces here or there, but we haven't actually been able to really physically, like, walk up to one before.
So far, so good. The scale's protection appears to be holding. If we can just make it to the tower's entrance.
You're there, you're at the entrance, get back in your boat! Stuff's gonna come out, I just know stuff's gonna come out.
A few more steps.
Why am I not, like, bodily in front of her, between the door and her? She's gonna get sucked into that tower.
Praise be to the sisters, we made it!
The door's gonna open, she's gonna get sucked right in.
Everything we hoped it would be. Now we can focus on production. Once we've equipped and returned with an entire survey team,
I can't even listen to her!
will soon give up its secrets.
She's just gonna get pulled in there! She's gonna get pulled into Fanny's pack! I knew it, Nidhana, and I couldn't save you from yourself! But this has to be the first dungeon, right? I've already run this dungeon, which is a wild thing to say, but it is. It definitely is. We've got to be getting real close to it, if not in it. Oh, all this fusion of technology. I talked a lot about these videos that we made, but I also did a lore tour video on this dungeon and the inspirations artistically and things that seem to have kind of been used to create the effect of it. Oh, jeez. Oh, no!
Here we go! Oh, here we go! Oh!
Oh, do calm down. You'll only hurt yourself thrashing about like that.
Stop! Oh, you can't do this! Please!
Can we intervene? Can we get in there? No! 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 Bad fanny pack!
A little late for heroics, I'm afraid. The similarities are striking.
To what? The shape kind of has a Heidelin thing going, right? With the little U sort of thing that she has. And I guess the overall profile. The spirals also. I really think like ether and stuff like that has this directed energy in like a spiral kind of pattern, which we see in a lot of different places in the anti-tower. But what else would it be actually related to?
My! Such hostility! Never before has my artistry so displeased.
Okay, Fan Daniel, it has for sure, but maybe you just have not acknowledged it.
My patrons of old would have positively squealed in delight, though, between you and me, I find gushing praise exhausting.
Patrons of old? Was Fan Daniel used as some kind of weapon by the ancients, or did they do awful stuff like this to power and create their civilization, kind of like the Alligans, or... Patrons of old? Is this how they sacrifice people to summon Zodiac?
Tell you a story. Surely you've yet to hear the one about Fan Daniel, the sundered Ascian.
Please tell me about it, because I do not understand what's up with you and I need to know.
I inherited the position and the soul of the Fan Daniel who sat on the convocation in the time of the final days, theoretically speaking. Practically speaking, that fact is of no consequence. I was born and lived as, well, me. Eventually, I was recruited into the Ascians, and imbued with the former Fandaniel's knowledge and memories, but I never felt that they were truly a part of who I am.
Now, is this actually, like, Asahi himself? Or is this a different soul that was previously, before they inhabited Fandaniel's body, right? This was somebody else born elsewhere that inherited the knowledge of Fandaniel, who then got transplanted into Asahi. I have many questions.
How to explain? Perhaps if I told you who I was before my Asian embrace, although that chapter too is a past I've long since discarded.
Just tell me, just tell me, just tell me.
On good authority, you've
Alec, I was wondering
ruin or two.
If this might have been somebody from ancient Alec. Not the old emperor.
Then I expect you've heard of me. The old me.
Would have been Xanda?
At your service.
Oh. Okay. Okay. A lot of things have happened.
A nation of unbridled prosperity.
Can I actually see shots of Alec
Every
in its
need
prime?
met. Day after day of unbroken, unshakable peace. Existence fulfilled.
The music in the back.
And ripe for decay.
Oh, he did not look so good. Oh, this is a different man. Okay.
Here, Amon. However do you conceive of such delightful experiments?
Amon is the bard, right? The bard-like character who does all of the scientific experiments of the Allegan Empire. If you've done the Crystal Tower raids, you fight him. And he was kind of a monster, to be honest. Yeah, he did a lot of incredibly awful things, as far as we know. And was responsible for a lot of just straight-up criminal experimentation.
That fool was beside himself with panic when he awoke with the head of a bull. Even his cries for help emerged as so much guttural lowing.
Including, like, Scylla, probably? Oh, jeez. He does have really good taste in hats, though.
Oh, the memory of it. My poor sides. My friends and I were so consumed by laughter we struggled to breathe.
Okay.
No more than
pretty messed up.
entertainment for bored wastrels ignorant
Pretty
of
messed
its
up
worth.
right here.
My all-consuming work. But it was not their only indulgence.
I never expected they would bring Amon back. Of all the different... I mean, it makes sense in certain regards.
They were ever hungry for stimulation. Slaves to the slightest hint that amusement was afoot. Our nation was ailing, but I would see the poison purged. I resurrected a legend, our first and greatest emperor.
Ah, jeez.
And just as I had planned, he set our wayward empire back on the path of conquest. An inexhaustible ambition carried us onwards, always onwards. Yet, he who delivered to us such glory was not to be satisfied.
Heed me, Amon.
I'm just processing right now because this has become so many layers of so much complex shenaniganery, and like, oh my gosh. I did not expect that they would tie his soul to some other entity that would then be carried along with all of this, like a tumbleweed, a soul tumbleweed, into this current day and age, which then raises a big old question for the other, I mean, equivalent of Telafroy, or equivalent here, the the sundered but resurrected Ascians. Excuse me, I'm talking off the top of my head in the moment, so I'm missing the exact terminology, but those whose memories were restored via crystal, right? I've always wondered, yes, did they just get overwritten by that? Did that awake some fragment that was in their soul still, that then they went, oh yeah, cool, like, we'll just serve the other ones, I guess? Or did it, you know, activate something about that tempering process? There's been a lot of discussion about it, and it's hard to say, right, because we get little bits and pieces here or there, although it seems like they themselves kind of functioned more in regards to, like, helping out the unsundered. So I did not expect that they would have done something where, like, the memories of the different maybe hosts of the different people that had been awakened to this would also be carried over long term. That's... It got worse. It's bad now. I thought he was bad enough on his own, but this bad. He really messed up. He's a messed up person.
No matter how vast one's empire, or full one's treasure vault, all is rendered meaningless by death.
And yeah, Xander coming back from the dead.
All is lost.
He probably messed up too. Things got real messed up at the end of Ancient Alec.
You know as well as I that the Emperor stands to lose this war.
Emmett!
And so I have come to claim you.
With his mascot, there's my boy's Mysticky. Oh man, I miss you.
For while your methods leave something to be desired, we cannot deny the results of your work. And as fortune would have it, the seat of Fandaniel, your rightful seat, lies vacant and waiting. Take your place amongst your peers, rather than die a pointless death amidst the ashes of your doomed nation. Send one of your clones to the Crystal Tower that you might see for yourself. See what lies ahead.
It's tragic that Emmett, right, almost set up and recreated the downfall of his own people in so many different ways, witnessed it time and time again. And although it was obviously not his people in the sense, and he drew clear delineations between that, to create these empires and then destroy them in the way that his own home had been destroyed. What a, like, self-flagellating thing to do. And then to, you know, rescue these few individuals or these few people and elevate them.
The fall of the Empire affirmed the truth. Majestic and tragic, as the Emperor foresaw.
I'm very glad we're getting Fandaniel back
Scheme
soon.
as you like, build as you will, nothing endures. What is life but a brief jaunt ending in emptiness?
Well, it's because you're thinking just about yourself, not about everybody, not about the future of all things. Life itself continues on, right? Even if it's not your life. What is he up to? What is he doing?
So easily distracted. Why, I almost left without saying farewell. As for your friend, you needn't worry. These pawns are far more useful to me alive as fuel for the primals.
Yeah, but with her not having that amulet, is she effectively tempered now?
If you attempt to pull them free, they will die. So, enjoy tackling that conundrum with your comrades.
I'm still just processing everything from the cutscene.
We shall meet again. Not in one of these minor spires, oh no, but somewhere more suitably grandiose. Your favorite playmate is ever so eager to see.
Xenos. My problem friend. My problematic friend Xenos. Nidhana, we come back, we save you. We can reverse tempering. Girl, you know what? I just remembered a key plot point. We can reverse it. You fine. Don't worry about it. We'll get you out. We'll get them all out. We can fix it. We can fix it. I've operated, we all have for so long under the assumption that tempering, it's like, oh, this is the end of all things. But in this case, it's not. We can get her out and it'll be okay. So long as she isn't too far gone. Ah, but you returned. But where is Mistress Nidhana? Yeah, well, about that. Manusha Preserve. Just when we had succeeded in making the talisman. I must report this at once. Meanwhile, please return to the great work. I'm going. Oh, there's that new barding. Is that the new one or is that the dancer barding? It's incredibly beautiful is what it is, either way. We're gonna go back down to the great work. I mean, the thing is that I very much knew it was coming, right? Very much knew it was coming, that Nidhana was gonna do something to get sucked in there. It was only the two of us. I didn't even put my body in front of her, in front of the door. But I am pretty happy about the fact, not that Nidhana's, you know, imprisoned and might die, but about the fact that I think we're about to hit the first dungeon. Which for me, I'm like, finally, the first piece of content. The story has been so good so far, though. I have loved all of the character beats. The moments of humor contrast with more reflective moments. I think things are definitely starting to ramp up. It's a little tough because I did feel a bit, coming off of the patch cycle, that I kept waiting for the scale of things to be at 100, right? If we're looking at like 1 to 100, I kept waiting for them to like take us to this point, this fever pitch before the expansion would start. And then we'd almost have in the expansion them kick it off in a sense of, you know, here we are in media res, wall stuff is happening, everything is on fire. So while we have had this impending doom feel, it hasn't necessarily felt like the world itself is literally on the brink of absolute destruction. I mean, we know that theoretically it's going to get bad and it's going to get bad fast, but we still kind of feel like we're in the calm before the storm. And I think it can only be because of the scale of this expansion. It's so huge. I mean, already we've sunk in, what, 5 hours? Granted, I'm reading everything and we're going through stuff and we've been exploring the zones, but to have spent that much time and not even have hit the first dungeon yet is an awesome problem to have. And I think it does give them a lot of time to build the scales of the narrative to the point where we will hopefully be at that fever pitch again, right? Bad tidings, I take it. Yeah, you could say that. One could say that. Thy demeanor bespeaketh consternation, Valka. Yeah, consternation, you can say that. Yeah. Something's gone awry, hasn't it? What happened? So it was Fandaniel after all. Damn that bastard. I'm sure you wanted to do more, but you were right to return here first. We must tread warily, lest we endanger Nidhana and the other captives. Like, next quest! First, we must inform everyone of the situation, Nidhana's colleagues included. I'll call them together for a gathering, but I think it would be best if you were the one to explain. I will do the explanation. I will do the explaining. Sorry, I was smiling because it felt like the little talking animation there was different to me, and I was kind of excited by it. I was delighted by it. Oh, Nidhana. Can you answer me this? Though Nidhana is trapped in the tower, she's still alive, yes? Then we must make warding scales, as many as we can. The prototype works perfectly. This Nidhana proved at peril to herself. So let us make more scales, that she and all those who were taken might be saved. Aye, as alchemists, this is how we will help win the fight. Hey, it's me, suspicious child.
My friends, the Satrap has been made aware of the tragedy. He offers his heartfelt condolences and reiterates his pledge to provide you with all that you require. To that end, he bade me give you this link pearl, that he might personally discuss the production of the warding scales with you, unless this child is a clone. Because now that Ammon's all up in here, now I'm like, I'm gonna have to infuse this story, tinfoil hat theory train with far more ancient Alec nonsense than I thought I would have to. Gosh, he's Ammon. I literally, it's still sinking in. Come on. It's like, who could we pick that has already been established that if you know some lore about him was just the worst? Ammon. Let's do him. Let's do him. But the nice thing is that now, when you actually go in and you go into the Crystal Tower raids, you're gonna be able to look at him and be like, you. Now I feel more of a connection to this raid. To that end, he bade me give you this link pearl, that he might personally discuss the production of the warding scales with you. And for our Eorzean visitors, I bear an invitation. In her report, Mistress Nidhana noted your vital contributions to the talisman creations. This fact came to the Satrap's attention, and in recognition of your deeds, he wishes to meet you. In addition to thanking you in person, he would also discuss further avenues of collaboration. And so, if it is agreeable, will you not accompany me to Radz-at-Han for an audience with His Excellency? We should be honored, of course. Closer cooperation between our lands can only be to the benefit of all. Then it is settled. Please come to the gate east of the Giantsgall grounds, and I will show you into the city. This will be the very first zone that I haven't been in yet. This will be the first area that I haven't seen. I am ridiculously excited to see it. The city's details, at least from what we've kind of seen in previews and things, just look so good. The colors, the architectural stuff. I wonder how it's going to look when you're in it. Are you going to get a sense that you're on top of that like really narrow little tower that we've seen? That thing. I just hope there's so much to explore. After seeing how well they did with Old Sharlayan, I really feel confident that it is going to have a lot of unique things in it, a lot of, maybe even areas you can go into, see, learn more about Thavnair, learn a little bit more about all the lore and the city itself. Let's just get there. Let's do it. It's great, too, that they tied in a presence here for the Aura. That's something that it's tough when you add races in later, so obviously they aren't as present in other parts of the game, but I think if you can make it feel like there are more options for where they are, how they are, who they are, how they might be integrated into different societies, it does kind of help make it feel a little bit less bumpy or awkward that you might only see those people in one specific area, which is fine if they're really sort of insular society, or maybe they're very much, they've only just opened their doors or only just started to interact with other races or people, but it's definitely noticeable and felt. So to have other places where they're canonically kind of working in, like, here are these different populations that exist, definitely opens up the possibilities, especially for role players. Oh, I wish it was daytime so we could see this whole bridge in the light. It's starting to come up. What is it? Eorzea time, it's going down. It's 7:29. It's gonna get darker from here. That's okay. We're going into the city! When last I visited, the city was brimming with life. I expect the tower has dampened the mood somewhat. Be it here or in Eorzea, all share in the desire to deliver the captives. Thus united, I pray that we may join in common cause with the Satrap. Of the Satrap, I only know the common tidbits. That, though the position is hereditary, he is not considered a sovereign, and that despite possessing considerable authority, he wields it sparingly. Given the esteem in which the locals hold him, however, it's safe to assume he's good at his job. We could do far worse for an ally. All present? Then let us proceed. Owing to the threat of the tower, the city is currently in a state of high alert, and strict restrictions are in place for entry. Though you have been granted special permission, I ask that you remain close to me at all times. So I can't freely explore yet? Show me the cutscene, show me the city. After the loading screen. The music, I haven't heard this. I love the Ahriman.
A vast rock squats upon Thavnair, and to its stony surface clings the city of Radz-at-Han.
Look at the buildings. They're all stacked on top of each other. They're so colorful too. Oh, I'm getting big vibes like when we first approached the firmament.
Ye who enter here are subject to the scrutiny of gods, the gate's most watchful eye.
It is kind of a reference to the evil
the
eye.
orb which beholdeth the truth of all things.
That symbol on the flags, I love how it's interpreted.
Pass beneath its hot and piercing gaze, bearing down like
kind
a
of like an
second
elephant.
midday sun.
Fade to white! Oh my gosh!
The fragrant haze,
That
a mixture
fountain!
of sweet incense and acrid smoke. The cries of merchants mingled here with lively melodies accented
And
by
the
dancers'
Thavnairian
feet.
dance!
Travelers seduced by vivid sound and colors were once swallowed up by patchwork streets.
Beautiful! Beautiful! It's nighttime and it's still so gorgeous. Those little touches too to the treasure dungeon.
But no such scenes to savor now. To what somber present does that divine eye bear witness?
I wonder if the city-state will change as we go through the game, where if we help alleviate their troubles, it'll kind of return to that past Thavnair that we just saw, that past Radz-at-Han. I just love every detail. The little walls. The animations they've put in this little like head tilt, like the little head wobble. It's so, in just a few little NPC things I've noticed it. Which I believe is actually something that has like specifically a kind of gesture used or sometimes seen with India or in India. I could be misspeaking, but I think so. The kind of peacock fan effect on the top of the building there. Oh my gosh. I am obsessed with all of this. I am obsessed with this aesthetic.
It seems a shame to bring you here directly. Under normal circumstances, it would have been my pleasure to show you the sights.
And it would have been our pleasure to see them. Alas, it seems our tour of the city will have to wait.
I'm kind of glad that they didn't let me just go ham in this city, because we would have been here for another like 2 hours while I just explored it. I'm glad the story is still continuing, but I'm also just a little sad.
I'm afraid so. Come, we should head inside.
Okay. Okay, let's go. See, this is closer to what I was kind of hoping El Amigo would be like, in the sense that I wanted there to be something really, really visually distinctive about El Amigo, be it interesting tile work, or, you know, other kind of accents of color design, and it just feels so Spartan compared to many of the other cities.
Honored visitors.
Oh!
Ah, splendid. Most splendid.
He is not exactly what I was expecting, but I dig it.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Aethercurrent, Satrap of Radz-at-Han.
And this room is incredibly
Our
detailed.
alchemists
All
tell
these
me your
textures.
assistance was invaluable in the creation of the warding scale. Such deeds ought to be recognized in person. Thus did I have young Varshan convey you here forthwith. On behalf of my people, may I express to you our sincere gratitude.
Okay. Not everything went to plan.
I assume you speak of Nidhana. A regrettable incident indeed.
Got a big ol' bummer fast.
Her colleagues insist that we honor her wishes and trust in the talisman. That it will be instrumental in saving Nidhana and the others. I am eager to hear your opinion on the matter, so let us not stand on ceremony.
Where can I get this table and these chairs? That one has a little elephant on it. Oh!
I
Look
think
at
not.
all these new assets. Oh. Estinian, this is called polite. This is called being in polite company. This is what you do. I know you don't understand it because you were a dirty little spaghetti pasta boy. You're covered in spaghetti blood. Your weapon still is. Just let it soak in. I get it. But that's not what polite company does. You guys sit down when this man offers you food.
This charade has gone on long enough. Show yourself.
The dragon? Is the dragon puppeting all of them? Is the dragon the actual Satrap?
Forgive me, but were you expecting musicians, perhaps? There are no performers waiting in the wings at present, but arrangements could be made if you'd prefer.
I'm waiting for this, like, curtain in the back to go up or, like, pull to the side and the dragon's just back there.
The time for artifice is past.
Dragon!
The curtain.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I am... Show me new dragon. Show me new boy.
As you wish.
You travel as assistants to the students of Valdesian, but you are known to me.
Show me the new dragon.
Even here have we heard of the scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Oh, is this Vritra? It is.
I am Vritra, and for years uncounted have this isle served as mine abode.
I guess, you know what? It's so funny. We've seen Vritra in the trailers. We knew that he was in the trailers. But I was, for some reason in my brain, I was just like, oh, it won't be Vritra here. Vritra will be like somewhere else. And like, I don't know, Tiamat might introduce us to him. So the dragon that's here might just be a different one. But I adore this. Oh my gosh, look at the details in his design. He's got kind of a similar thing happening that like Hraesvelgr and Nidhogg did, the like long body with the furry bits and some feathery bits, which I really like. And the little like fronds around his face, the big snoot, very good, love it. I love the designs of the dragons. They're so like delightful and strange. And I'm just petting him on the screen right now. I'm just petting him. Dragons are my favorite. It's very good. Okay, I'm good now. Sorry you all had to see that. You'll probably see more of it, so sorry not sorry.
Vritra of the first brood, sibling to Hraesvelgr and Nidhogg.
Aye, my elder brothers, of Midgard's Sorma's spawn. I was last to hatch.
He baby.
Well, isn't this a surprise? We were told Radz-at-Han had an alliance with the dragon. Not that a great worm sat in the Satrap's own hall.
A necessary subterfuge, as the true tale of our nation history illustrates most effectively.
Look at this! I'll just take a picture real fast. It's good. Okay, so he's not puppeting them, nothing like that. He's not disguised as the child. That's fine. I get it. But This is excellent. He's got the double wings. He's got the second set in the back. Oh, he's so good. Look at him. I love the little bit of orange on the edges of his scales and the like texture pattern across his body with the little black scales on it. Okay, I'm gonna be cool. We're gonna keep going.
In the beginning, the rock upon which our city is built was home to Vitra, and Vitra alone. In time, the ancestors of the Matanga came to the island and established a foothold. But never did they dare disturb the worm's lair. Next to
I wouldn't
arise
mess with
the
him
Aura,
either.
Adopting the example of their Akasodra allies, they too treated Vitra with reverence and respect. And for many years, an understanding between our forefathers and the Great Worm endured.
And the bad stuff happened?
Marauding heroes from the mainland came, threatening to shatter our peace and tranquility. When it
Stinky
seemed
heroes.
all
Always
would
messing
be
everything up for
drowned in
everybody.
blood, Vitra himself came forth and quelled the rising conflict. A peaceful accord was reached, and oaths sworn in Vitra's name. Thus began the dragon's governance of the fledgling state, which was to grow.
So he has ruled over this state over the generations, it seems.
But if Ritra is still here, then your position as Satrap is just...
What's kind of fascinating is that he almost followed the example of his elder siblings, right? I think it was, I'm thinking back, Tiamat and Bahamut were obviously like a mated pair. And they kind of advised, might have been somebody else too, but Bahamut for sure, right? They kind of advised a lot of what was happening and oversaw and weighed in on matters of mankind after all the Mericidia stuff happened. And again, I'm just talking off the top of my head, so there's a possibility that without the actual stuff up in front of me, I'm misremembering certain things. But so they kind of did the same, which then eventually led to this civilization, Hraesvelgr being a part of it with like the Ellison up in the sky and all of this, because there was this moment of peace and where the dragons themselves kind of served as advisors to much of sentient life and the spoken life on the planet, until everything went very bad and went south, and again, people messed it up and obviously killed Ratatoskr. So he almost, it seems like, followed in their footsteps, but then decided to do it in this sneaky way where he would still be kind of advising mankind behind the scenes here.
A charade, yes. And one which my family has performed faithfully for generations.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, if I could be besties with a dragon, I'd do it. I'd be like, whatever.
Were it known that I ruled here, then the fires of war would burn without end. I would not be the flame which consumeth my people. Those few who joined me in laying our country's foundations were, perforce, sworn to secrecy.
It's so cool to see one of the first brood in a building. The huge doors for him in the back. We've just seen them outside in so many settings. In my head, I've always envisioned a million times like what the ancient civilization would look like up there in the churning mists. I still want to see some kind of flashback where you could actually see them existing, and dragons and all of the different kinds of dragons still living up there alongside spoken races. Because if you didn't get it yet, I'm a big dragon nerd. Dragon Rider is my ultimate endgame for everything. If we all became Dragon Riders, I'd be very happy. I think it's just going to be a stinny in this X-Pack.
Your eye. It was taken.
He is missing one. Oh, this kid. This boy.
'Tis here, buried within the semblance of flesh.
Okay, so I was right. I was right. It's not him transformed, but he is piloting
the body
this
before
child.
thee is but a simulacrum, constructed by the finest artisans of Radz-at-Han. With mine eye nestled within, it doth serve as an inconspicuous vessel for my will.
I love everything that's happening.
That would explain why I felt the presence of a dragon upon our first meeting.
I am woven with words fashioned to deceive such arcane senses.
Yeah, well, Varshan, your brother's spirit lives inside of this man,
Though
so...
'twas short-lived, it seemeth thy fusion with my brother hath left thee much altered. Estinian warmblood.
This is the dragon lore I needed, I wanted. Thank you, Yoshida-san, thank you so much.
From the very first, we sensed the nature of one another. Yet did neither one of us bear his fangs. That is all I need know of thee for now.
Oh. Estinian, you came so far. Look at you renouncing hatred and accepting dragon love into your heart. Oh, I'm so proud if only everybody in the world could join us.
But as the ruler of Radz-at-Han, with all haste must we take in hand the finished challenge.
Couple more quick couple screenshots right here.
Thence, should it lay within our power to dispel its wicked influence, yet even with the assurance of the warding scales, the narrow confines of the tower doth limit the size of our force.
And thus denied strength in numbers, thou must choose thy soldiers.
I'm just gonna be smiling nonstop. It's just gonna be, that's just all that's gonna happen now.
Just so.
I also love the idea that, like, as the youngest brother, whereas much of the rest of his family kind of forswore being close to, you know, spoken short-lived races, he embraced it. And it sounds like he came out of seclusion. I don't know if that, like, I don't know how the timelines exactly line up, but I don't know if that was caused by Ratatosker's death, that he then came here, or if he'd come here beforehand. But my partner is also the youngest sibling, and it always, I mean, I don't know, it doesn't hold true for every family probably, but it's always interesting to me how it seems like the youngest sibling sometimes kind of subverts the expectations of much of the others. And so the fact that, like, he himself decided to live amongst people and again maintain that bond and help create peace and foster it long term. I love him. You're a good Snoop boy.
Thou and thy comrades have contended with a multitude of primal beings. Most recently, thou didst cast down false gods in Pagalthan and Cartanau, I am told. 'Tis upon that
I have done that, yes.
I would call. The Scions have proven themselves the most capable, and I ask that you serve as the tip of our spear. Talismans would, of course, be provided for each of our companions.
Gosh, I love these planters with the elephants too. Everything. I love everything. If you haven't already figured it out, I love everything here. Everything. 5 million out of 10. This very good highlight so far of the expansion for me.
And should you agree to this undertaking, more will be provided to make use of as you see fit.
I'm surprised, well, maybe because he doesn't want to get tempered? I'm surprised at the might of one of the worms. He hasn't tried to take down the tower himself, you know?
The rewards may far outweigh the risk.
Maybe so that he doesn't
Just
reveal
think of
himself
what we
here?
might accomplish if we could equip all our allies with warding scales.
But I feel like there's a new age of peace between dragons and Spoken, and I feel like he should come out of the shadows and not keep doing this, like, Wizard of Oz thing behind the curtain, you know?
I worry, however, that even the 4 of us may be too few for what you have in mind. Might we regroup with our friends first to discuss the matter?
'Tis no trifling task that I have laid before you. Go. Steel your hearts and hone your plans. Such time as you require shall be spent in crafting your protective charms.
He must take to the field at some point, though, if he and Estinian make some kind of allegiance. The Dragoons used to, it sounds like, way back in the ancient days, from what we know from some of the Dragoon quests, to actually fly on dragons as knights.
Wilt thou not lend thine aid?
Don't be a stinky boy!
Whether your request be made as a great worm or the ruler of Radz-at-Han, I see no reason to refuse, nor will I.
I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him.
I am in thy dead.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So a lot of things have happened in a relatively short span of time. We've got the whole Ammon reveal. We got all that shenanigan. We've got Dragon Ruler of Radz-at-Han, Ritra, who I love and will protect and will die for. So Ritra gets added to the will die for list alongside our recent acquisition here of Matzia, who also gets put on there. Also, I am loving everything with the discussion about how Estinian has been morphed. This may or may not also be because I myself have an RP character, surprising literally no one, based off of the reactions that I've had recently that may or may not be kind of magically ethereally bonded to a dragon. You know, it's like you just gotta do it sometimes. You know what I mean? You just gotta follow what you love. That's what I love. That's what makes roleplay great. I also do endgame content, but that's what makes roleplay great. I'm gonna be screaming on Discord for a long time about this. That was me like, do I want to scream on Discord right now? Maybe.